All right, folks, let's finish up Chapter 4 and continue on and take a look now at modern approaches to management. MBO, Management by Objectives. Peter Drucker came up with this idea. He claimed that effectiveness is the very foundation of success for an organization, much more critical than organizational efficiency. So it's not just about producing lots and lots of a thing, but that the thing would be of a decent quality and have a good impact. Middle and senior level managers must identify the goals for each individual area of responsibility and share these goals and expectations with each unit and each employee. And then there is this agreement that happens between employees and managers regarding performance over a set period of time. In this sense, management retains external control, while employees exhibit self-control over how to complete individual objectives. So you now have this sense where there are certain expectations that are laid out by management, but there are different ways that employees are feeling empowered to be able to come up with the way that they feel best to be able to do the thing. The systems approach to management follows a macro perspective. That is, the entire organization is examined, and the study includes the environment in which the organization operates. And when we talk about environment here, we're talking about the factors outside of the organization's control. Go back to your SWOT analysis that we talked about in an earlier chapter. The opportunities and threats, the things that happen outside the organization, the stuff that happens in the community, if you will, that's what we're talking about here. So you're looking at not just your own structure, but you're looking at what's outside of you as well. Organizations can alter their interdependence with other organizations in one of two ways, either by absorbing other entities, so things like acquisitions, mergers, things like that, or by cooperating with other organizations to reach mutual interdependence with things like joint ventures, for example. Mergers and acquisitions, vertical integration, and diversification are all strategies that organizations use to ease resource dependence. This helps to create an economy of scale where when you have more and you have those capabilities, then there's really a lot of different options that you have in order to be able to meet and exceed your goals. TQM, Total Quality Management. This is where managers combine strategic approaches to deliver the best products and services by continually improving every part of an operation. So you're looking at quality control and making sure that that is a significant element of what's happening. Making sure that, again, you're not just producing lots of a thing, but the thing that you're producing is going to be powerful and effective. Strategic management is primarily concerned with developing tools and techniques to analyze firms, industries, and competition, and developing strategies to gain a competitive advantage. Strategic planning involves a scanning of the external and internal environments by focusing on a firm's individual strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you're looking at the whole picture. You're really trying to determine what's already out there, what may work for you, what may work against you, what do you have from within your own control, and how can you either contribute to what's going on out there or perhaps make a run at what's going on out there and provide some competition to what's going on out there. Leadership. Leadership contains three basic qualities. And here they are right here: vision, passion, and integrity. Vision is when leaders have an understanding of where they want to go and will not let setbacks or obstacles deter their progress. Keeping your eye on the prize, if you will, and being focused on doing what it takes to be able to get there. Passion is another trait of a good leader, a person who loves what he or she does. The idea that what you are in pursuit of gives you this sense of excitement, fulfillment, a sense of determination, all those sorts of things. And then integrity, self-knowledge, candor, maturity, doing things within a certain altruism and honesty and fidelity. Other traits of leaders include being an innovator as opposed to an administrator. Not just someone that executes the order, but someone that creates what should be ordered, thinking up ways of doing things differently or better or more effectively or with more feeling or passion. A leader also offers a long-range perspective as opposed to a short-range view. Taking a look at what sort of things are going to be beneficial, not just in the immediate, but what's going to have long-lasting effects and the effectiveness of that and the impact it's going to have now and in the years to come. And then finally, a leader originates and doesn't imitate, kind of on the same lines of being an innovator. To originate is to come up with your own idea, to have your own kind of spin on the way that we do things and the why of what we do things. Those sorts of things, when you think differently and you act differently in conjunction with the idea of your vision and your passion, those things are going to help a leader to be able to propel forward. Let's look at transactional versus transformational leadership. Transactional leadership assumes people are motivated by rewards as well as by punishment, and that systems work best with a defined chain of command. It's that idea of give and take, cause and effect, and that those things should be directly related, and nothing else outside of that matters. It's a more absolute sort of idea. Meanwhile, transformational leaders must constantly sell their vision and lead the change needed in an organization. And that kind of sounds like that would be a lot of work. And in a way, it is, because it challenges the leader to continually talk about what the end goal is and puts him or her in a position where they have to justify that end goal and the motivation and to explain the why. And that creates, in those moments, an opportunity for assessment and evaluation. But if you're effective in creating the answer to that why and selling your vision to others, your subordinates then eventually accept the vision and will even embrace it as their own. In the 21st century, with the sweeping social, political, and economic changes affecting the world, Peter Drucker supposes, there are few certainties in management and strategic thinking. One cannot manage change, one can only be ahead of it. In other words, the world and the way it thinks and the way that it acts is going to evolve whether you do or not. We can try our best to forecast how those things are going to happen and be ready for those things when they happen. But really, it's going to be hard for us to manipulate how that change really manifests itself. All we can do is try to be forward thinking enough to anticipate what those changes are going to be and to be ready for them. A critical change issue for managers in the 21st century is determining when to focus on the external environment and when to focus on the internal. Watching out for what's happening outside the organization, keeping up on trends, keeping up on certain things that are being accepted, things that are becoming a new standard, if you will, and knowing how you're going to operate within that, and to participate in that, or perhaps to buck against it because you have a better idea. Now, how does this all relate to media and the media industry in and of itself? The different approaches to management reflected in the classical, behavioral, and modern schools all have limitations regarding their direct application to the electronic and the digital media industries. Again, it may not necessarily be that one model in and of itself is better than the other, or that one model is better than the other in all situations. There are pros and cons to each idea. Although the classical school emphasizes production, its understanding of management functions, skills, and roles does remain helpful. So that idea that someone's the boss, someone's the subordinate, someone has to be able to do certain things, and if you can't do the thing, then you can't do the job. That's all important. The Human Relations School makes an important contribution by emphasizing the needs of employees and proper motivation, understanding that employees are more than just cogs of a machine. They have physical needs and mental needs and emotional needs and psychological, and if you even want to describe spiritual needs. All of those things really important and can affect the overall progress that an employee gives to a corporation. And the modern approach will clarify managerial effectiveness and leadership while recognizing the interdependency of media and other societal systems. So it's taking a look at the visionary aspect, being able to try to stay ahead of trends and not to be surprised when those trends come our way and wind up having to be more reactionary than what we should be. There's simply too many factors to say that one model fits best. Elements of each model may work at different companies at different times, or something completely new might have to be developed. So, are we coming into an era where we might have to come up with yet another school of management, another school of leadership? What's currently not working and needs to be adjusted? What sort of innovations might have to take place in order for the business world to function, and by extension, the media business world to function? Some of you might be some of those that causes that sort of change. As you listen in to what's happening around and about you, not just in your work environment, but in society as a whole, and being able to relate in all of those different scenarios to make things work for life in general and for your career in particular. So that's going to do it for Chapter 4. Finish up the notes and the study questions, get them turned in, check out the survey on Blackboard. Be ready to discuss your thoughts. Which model of management do you think is better? How would you piece them together? What would be your philosophy of management if you were in that position? And might it change depending on the job that you're in? Let's talk about those things when we get together.